Hello, welcome to Bluejay Chat. I'm your host, Nathan Meyer. Alongside me, as always, Dr. John Sample. And John, it's another Bluejay day.
It is another Bluejay day, and I brought the most special guest. My right-hand person, Tammy Woller, is here with us today.
Tammy, not the first time,
Nope.
but the first third-time person on.
That's right. Yeah.
So,
No, and we have a conference going on with some of our administrators and those types of things, but I figured the best guest is the person who tries to keep me organized and knows everything that's going on in the district anyway, so
right.
glad she could make it.
And it's an MSI day, too, so it's a little harder to get some of those administrators on. But we look forward to having them on, but we always look forward to having Tammy on every year, it seems like.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
All right, John, so let's start with our recognitions, because obviously those are big, and most of the community already knows them because Tammy already put them up on Facebook, but let's talk about those a little bit.
How about those marching jays? They, not only with the new trailer that they've got, so they're riding around in style now thanks to the generosity of a lot of members of our community, but they took third place in state just recently, and so that's the highest place I think that they've taken in about 7 to 10 years, and that's also the highest score I think in recent history. I think they set a record for their highest score. Some of these larger school districts that have been doing band, and they require band or they require electives, you'll see one district that's up there first all the time, and so I look at a third place as even a second place. They have just come so far so quickly. Ellie Wilk is doing a wonderful job, and everybody that's involved with band, they've really gelled as a family, so very proud to see that.
Right, and band was always a good thing that we used to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and there were a few other good recognitions, weren't there? Or?
We did. Pine River School for Young Learners did their color run. It wasn't the best of weather, but for the last 2 years, it hasn't been. It's been a little bit chilly, the wind's blowing, but we had a great turnout. We had great sponsors, great donations. I think they gave out 110 free shirts, which is always very nice for the students. And it was just a really fun time. Kevin Blake, our board president, and we stopped by. I missed the start of the race. I missed the big color splash, but it was still great. And I think everybody there, I firsthand witnessed, they had an awesome time. It's a great family experience.
Right. And, those are always great things. Did those make it up on the Facebook page at all, or any of those pictures, Tammy?
I have not gotten any pictures yet. I just put the recognition up, but
Okay.
that is something that we should share so everybody can see.
And if you'll notice too,
Yeah.
even after a board meeting, you've got some time, especially last night when we went into closed session, Tammy's already posting recognitions from 2 hours before. So it's pretty recent information that she's posting.
Right. So how often do you get some of this information that's coming in? Because obviously the community sees a lot of it and they love seeing it. But just how often is this actually coming in? Do you get overwhelmed by it sometimes?
We really do depend on other staff members in the district to provide us that information. I do try to monitor other Facebook pages and see things happening. When I see that the girls volleyball is going to play for the conference title tonight, the next morning I'm asking, how did the girls do, so that we can get something up there right away. I kind of monitor things so that we can be as time sensitive as possible. But it all depends on what people are giving us too.
Right. And Tammy understands the algorithm too, and the times of day when people are logging on the most. And so with some of our more important stories, if it's scheduled to go out and we know about it several days in advance, she'll set it up as a scheduled posting. And 3 o'clock is a very popular time. 7 o'clock in the morning, I guess, is a popular time. So I'm learning too. But Tammy's the one that makes all that magic happen, and our community appreciates that. That's one of our pillars is community partnerships, and so I think everybody really loves it.
Right, and there's a lot of other magic going on too throughout this district, specifically within donations. Our wrestling and our swim team got some huge donations, and I feel like we should recognize them right now for that.
Yeah, with our wrestling boosters to get 2 wrestling mats, that's almost $10,000 worth of wrestling mats. It's something that most people take for granted, but without a mat, you're not wrestling. So And those things, they do wear out, and it's all about the safety of our students, and it's also about the pride. So I can't wait to see what those wrestling mats look like as well. Then with our swimmers with the touch pads, you know, for the timing system and everything. We talked about that a little bit earlier before we went on air, and it's no longer, you know, the judges leaning over, seeing when the hand touches. It's electronic. They know that they needed it. Of course, that program has had tremendous success because of the hard work of a lot of people.
Right, and obviously that shows now with some of their new advances. We're not in the 1950s anymore, especially with that scoreboard that they got. The touchpad will definitely help too.
Yeah, it really will, really will.
So, all right, well, today it's an MSI day, John. Kind of walk us through an MSI day for the parents at home, because they just think, oh, it's, you know, no school, just the teachers didn't want to come in, and the administration just didn't want to have the students today, so they left our little rugrats with us. So kind of why are these MSI days important to the staff and the students?
They're extremely valuable. Our 4 pillars are student achievement and success. That's our #1 pillar. And of course, we've got fiscal responsibility. We have to make sure that we have a balanced budget every single year. And then we've got community partnerships, and then student and staff wellness rounds out pretty much everything that we do in this district. We value professional development. We need to understand from the experts and from the professionals in the field how aligned are we to meeting the needs of our students. And so all day today, all of our teachers are engaged in social emotional learning. They're all down at the high school auditorium right now. After lunch, they will come back. The elementary teachers I know are meeting at Kate Goodrich. We're all coming together to really look at the data and see how are we meeting the needs of our students socially and emotionally. That ties directly into student achievement and success as well as student wellness. And it lends itself to staff wellness as well. Things have to be right in order for achievement to occur. And so that's why we're trying to eliminate any outside distractions, trying to reach our students on an emotional level so that they're in a place where they can learn. So all day today, all of our teachers are busy engaging in that professional development with the assistance of CESA 9, who's providing a few of our trainers.
Right, so it's obviously not just all the teachers are at home relaxing.
That's correct.
You know, after getting through almost 2 months of school, they're still here working hard, giving the kids a break, basically.
Yeah. Teachers are extremely hardworking. I just saw something on Facebook the other day that I've known. I've been in education for 32 years, and teachers are probably the highest group in the nation of working overtime, and they're salaried employees. So our teachers care. They actually consider today a nice break because they get to wear jeans. Okay, they get to wear jeans, but they're learning. Started at 8 o'clock this morning. We're going to go strong till 3:30, 4 o'clock today. They've got a lot to do and a lot to learn, and I know that they're really excited and appreciative of this opportunity.
To be fair, some of them wear jeans anyways. But
some wear jeans anyways, but this is a day just to relax, enjoy the company of the colleagues that they really don't get to see, and you know, they're next door teaching just like they are, and you know, whether they want to go off for lunch or whatever, but it's buckle down time, and it's a professional development day, and we take those very seriously.
Right. So, Tammy, during these MSI days, is your job still the same, or what's kind of, you know, the role of, I mean, obviously keeping John in line every day is not the same.
That's a big job.
But, you know, kind of for all the administrative assistants around here, kind of what is an MSI day like for you guys?
Well, for me today, it's the day after a board meeting. So I do have a lot of follow-up. I'm thankful for this day because typically we will not be having staff or parents coming into our office. So it's just a day where I can really buckle down and get all my follow-up done from last night's meeting. And I think I see that for all of our administrative assistants in the central office building, that it's kind of a catch-up day, not getting too many outside calls and requests, and just kind of that
catch-up day for everyone. And that kind of seems to be the theme for MSI days sometimes. It is a day to catch up on what we've been falling behind on when it comes to student learning and stuff, John.
Yeah, it really is, and it does give our students a nice break, I think, in the fall. It's hard to believe that November 1st marks the end of quarter 1. It seems like we just had summer, and now we're already 25% into the school year. So it really does allow us some time to buckle down, get some work done, teachers with professional development, the things that they need to do, and it gives our students a little bit of a break as well.
All right.
And we do, there are professional development opportunities for the administrative assistants and support staff from time to time, but this typically is not. This fall one typically is not, but there are a lot of times that we're taking part in learning opportunities too, so.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we have the MSI day today. We obviously have a no school day tomorrow. Are the teachers working at all tomorrow, or that's just kind of a?
You know, you drive
Day
past any one of our buildings, and sometimes whether I'm out or Dale's out, and we always have teachers in the parking lot. They don't have to come in tomorrow. They recently finished with their parent-teacher conferences. That's one of the things too, that's one of the questions. As we develop the calendar, a school calendar for the next 2 years, I'll be sending out a survey within the next week asking parents and teachers to weigh in on what they would like their calendar to look like. One calendar is somewhat traditional. I'll say, okay, here's a calendar, 5 inclement weather days built in. If we exceed the 5 days, we've got to add days. So here's the approximate time you'll be out of school for the year when summer starts. The other calendar is, what if we added 30 minutes of instruction to the school day? And that can be 5 minutes before, 25 minutes after, whichever way we can make transportation work, athletics work, or after school programs work. But by adding 30 minutes to a school day, that gives us an extra 2.5 hours of instruction per week. That starts adding up when you start factoring in the weeks with 36 weeks. So
Right.
imagine having a school calendar that has 10 days built in. Even if we had last winter repeat itself, we're still fine. 10 days built in, we're meeting the instructional minutes, we're exceeding the instructional minutes as set by DPI. We know that our student achievement scores will increase because we've increased that time with our students. And imagine getting out in June, before June. I mean, we can get out of school at the end of May. I envision a time where we buckle down, we're getting things done, we're reaching our student achievement goals, and imagine the last day of school and then graduation that night. That would be incredible. And so our seniors are going to be on course with everybody else.
Right, and they'd only maybe get out maybe 2 days earlier than everyone else instead of 3 weeks.
That's right.
Before everyone else, like last year.
And I know it's disruptive when we have to add days, but we have to answer to DPI with instructional minutes. It would be nice just to say this is the last day. Our students all have something to shoot for, so do our teachers. There's no question about it. We're not going to add any more days. We buckle down, we get the work done, we get our students to their highest levels, and then summer becomes a little longer. As you know, DPI will not allow any school district, per their standards, to start any time before Labor Day. And so we're stuck with our start date, but we can certainly fluctuate with our end date depending on days off, depending on how many MSI days we build into our calendar. We even have the possibility of front loading our MSI days to where when our teachers come back, when our new teachers come back, they've got 3 days of new teacher development. Immediately following, all of our teachers come back and have 4 uninterrupted days of professional development, a 4-day weekend, and then start the school year. So we're looking at it's about time that we made this change. We don't need to stick with exactly with the traditional calendar, but I think that this would really benefit us with all 4 of our pillars, as well as give our parents something that they can count on. So I'll be anxious to see what those results are.
And that would take our school days from about 7 hours to about 7.5 hours a day, roughly, depending on what school you're going to, obviously, because I think middle school goes just like 10 minutes longer
Correct.
than everyone else. But
Correct.
I mean, you're still looking at maybe a 7.5 hour day for everyone then.
Yeah.
And that's closer to an 8-hour day. Maybe get them ready for the workforce too.
Yeah, absolutely. And we value all instruction, but the instruction is really critical at the kindergarten through 3rd grade levels for obvious reasons. That's where our students are starting to become learners. DPI has fewer minutes for our elementary students than they do for our middle school and high school. So the way our middle school schedule is set up right now, they're the ones that we really have to keep an eye on to make sure they reach the minimum. That's why they have a few more minutes. They're also our transportation hub, and so we have students arriving there a little bit earlier and staying just a little bit later. So if we can add 30 minutes, I don't see that as too disruptive. Some of the arguments have been, well, it's going to be dark in the morning or it's going to be dark in the afternoon, you know, with winter. It's going to be dark anyways.
Yeah, this is Wisconsin anyways. It happens anyways. So,
Yeah.
Any final thoughts, John? Or, I mean, the school year is rolling through.
Yeah, it's rolling through. We've had a lot of great things going on. I had an opportunity recently, a couple of nights ago, went to the National Honor Society and they inducted their new members, and that's always a very cool ceremony here at the high school. A couple of weeks before that, I went to the chamber event, where the annual chamber celebration, where the Chamber of Commerce recognizes large businesses, small businesses, and those types of things. It was nice that this is the first time that anybody can remember that Merrill Area Public Schools was a nominee for large district or large business of the year. We don't think of ourselves as a business, but we are.
Right.
We're probably the second largest employer in this area in Merrill. So Weinbrenner Shoes won it, but it was nice to hear every recipient, and with Zach with the sawmill, you know, as last year's winner coming back and talking about things. Everybody seems to touch on the partnership that they have with the school and with their high school students and how important that is. So it was a really, really great event. It was nice to see how far we've come and then to build even more partnerships so that we can continue moving in the right direction.
Right, and few other notes. Obviously, we had a great homecoming. I don't think we got to touch on that last. It was a very competitive homecoming amongst all the classes, but you know, in the end, the football team didn't pull out that victory. But
they were all heart. They
Right.
showed a lot of effort.
They showed a lot of effort. On other notes, though, coming up, the fall play.
Fall play is coming up, and the plays are always fantastic. I get to the plays every single. I think I've missed one in the last few years. In fact, last night on the personnel report, we're talking about who's leading the fall play and all those things. So John Smith is a board member, and he's very involved with those, and really looking forward to seeing what the students can produce, because it's never disappointing. It's always spectacular.
No, I can tell you from firsthand, this is a very funny, very quirky one, because I'm part of the sound group for that. So if there's a bad sound, you know, you can blame me. But
So it will be funny.
yeah, it will be funny. It's very quirky. Every person is working their absolute hardest at it, and it'll knock your socks off.
Good. I'm going to get my ticket well in advance so I can make sure that I can be there.
Yeah. Other than that, I think we're pretty much good. I mean, like we said, it's rolling.
We've had a great start. We've already talked about that. All the building principals and our teachers seem to think that this is one of the better starts to the school year that we've had. We're rolling, and everybody is so focused and aligned. It's been a good school year so far, and we've got bigger and better things as we go. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think we're set. Next Board of Education meeting is?
November 20th?
So we'll be filming about November 21st, right before Thanksgiving break.
Yeah, we do have Thanksgiving coming up, don't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
about a month.
Yeah.
Halloween first, obviously, but
Yeah, and some of us are working tomorrow still, but today and tomorrow really is a day to get caught up on phone calls or anything that we're planning for our various committee meetings, and keep social media alive and well, and reach out to the community. You know, it's a great day to do building visits too. Nobody's there, but I'll still go out. But I am going to spend some time this afternoon. There's a grand opening of Park Place.
Was it Park Place? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I'm going somewhere this
yeah,
afternoon.
Park Place
It is
at
Park
1
Tammy
o'clock
keeps me
today, yep.
organized.
It is Park Place.
Park Place, so I'll be at Park Place this afternoon.
Our crew will be there, so
Oh, good. Is this a ribbon cutting and
I
all of
believe
that?
so, yes.
I've seen scaffolding. We've all seen scaffolding outside that building for quite some time, so I'll be anxious to see what it looks like.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job with it now, so.
Good. Fantastic. But everything's rolling right along. We're busy, but it's a fun busy too.
Yep. Oh, I think that about wraps it up for us. So for Dr. John Sample, for Tammy Woller, I'm Nathan Meyer. Thanks for watching Bluejay Chat.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.